Hey, Danielle Morris, Adam here from Crown Money. I hope you're well. I just wanted to touch base and run through your very first annual review. Up here at 540,000, you've pushed that down to 471, 447 and 63 cents at the end of June there. So, and that shows you still reduced by $61,969.54 in your very first year. Now that's a huge result, especially when you compare this to what you're doing previously. I mean, look at this figure on the right hand side. That's how much you're reducing with your old lender. But look at this. Every time you're reducing your debt, you're creating equity in your property. So you've gone from creating $9,400 worth of equity to $61,000. That's mind blowing. You should be extremely proud of your efforts. And as mentioned, we just want this to continue so you guys can become debt free as quickly as possible. Now you can also see that your savings rate is tracked and measured every single month. This is such an important financial figure in all our lives. Look, a lot of people are simply focusing on how much income they can bring into the household. Now that's definitely important. What's also important is how much we hold on to. And that's exactly what this is tracking. And as you can see, you managed to save 41% of your take-home income. Did you know the average Australian these days are actually saving around 7% of their take-home income? Now, the average Crown client, we're hovering around 20%. So you're more than doubled what the average Crown client is doing in your very first year. And at this pace, you are done and dusted by the 13th of July, 2030. Pretty much every single month, which is reflected with your loan balance just trending straight down, which is exactly what we want to see. Now, the exciting stuff is this page, out of debt projections for you, shows that you are done and dusted within basically 6.5 years, because you can see in year 7, your balance is 29K. You're actually on track to pay 92 off that year, but let's call it 7 years for argument's sake. In 7 years' time, you can own this property outright. And remember, what we're doing here is taking advantage of compound interest. Now, as you can see here, as your debt reduces, the interest going to the bank reduces at a really rapid pace, which means over the years, the lender gets less and less interest off you, and that means you actually pay more and more off the principal because of that compound interest effect. So you're doing all you can, your money's working for you now, not the banks. And this graph on the right-hand side shows another story altogether. As you can see, you're going to be done before year 8 kicks in, versus what would have happened if you actually jumped on board a so-called cheap interest rate lender. Instead of taking that leap of faith with Crown, well, guess what? That new lender, they would have given you that cheap 30-year interest loan, structure things incorrectly to keep you in debt for as long as possible to make money for their shareholders, and you literally have 29 years left spinning the wheels on their terms, because look how much reward you're getting out of it. You're actually on track to save yourself all this time 22 years of interest versus that traditional 30-year mortgage, 22 years of loan repayments, 22 years earlier, where all your income can go to yourself, and you can do as you please with those funds, whether it be putting towards, capping out your super, or putting towards investments, or helping out family, friends, or just enjoying your life a little bit more and doing what makes you happy. But not only on track to save 22 years, you're also on track to save $351,412.89 with the loan repayments and interest you won't have to make to anybody. So instead of being done by 2052, exactly how the banks would have structured things, you're now on track to be done by the 13th of July, 2030. Where do you sit on our 12 steps to financial security? Well, you've ticked off so many along the way in your very first year. You've got a 2K buffer tucked away. Step 2 is about having 1 month's expenses. Now, 1 month's expenses for yourself is averaging out to be $8,170, which you've well and truly got tucked away. From what I can tell, there's no external debts, which is a huge win. Let's keep it that way. So all your money's going towards the number one asset, which is your home. Step 4, I should say, is all about having 3 months expenses tucked away at all times. Now, as you can see, 3 months expenses for yourself is basically $25,000 there. And I'm very pleased to see you've well and truly got that tucked away, which gives you some financial peace of mind, because no matter what happens now, if your income's affected due to injury, illness, whatever it might be, you're always going to have at least 3 months expenses to fall back on, so you can cover any financial crisis life throws your way without the added financial stress. So huge win there.